Hello, I'm Katala and thank you for joining me between missions as Xbox reveals its 2024 lineup. This developer direct was an exciting one for me as someone who's new to Xbox. The Series S is my first Xbox console and with few exceptions has just been a Game Pass machine, which I've had very little room to avail of. Since getting it, I got to experience the Halo and Gears of War franchises for the first time, with Hi-Fi Rush being the first new day one game I got to experience along with the community, and it blew me away. However, since then, Redfall didn't appeal to me, so I skipped it. Starfield was not well optimized for my rig, and I was unimpressed with its performance on the Series S, so I decided to hold off for more updates. Starfield is exactly my kind of game, so I want the ideal first experience. I, like many others, have been waiting patiently for the slew of Xbox Studios games in development, and with this direct, 2024 is shaping up to be a strong year for Xbox. Avowed is my most anticipated game from Xbox for three big reasons. Obsidian is amazing, I love fantasy settings, and the combat fixes an issue with the game I loved. Skyrim's biggest fault for me was the constant pausing to change spells or weapon swap in combat. Avowed will let me swap weapons and spells in real time, which I'm all for. In my brief playthrough of Pillars of Eternity, I loved the story and lore, so this being a new entry in the Pillars IP has me very excited, so much so that I intend to go back and beat both Pillars games before Avowed comes out. Player choice in cutscenes is also a huge selling point for me, so obviously I never stood a chance saying no to this game. Playing through the first Hellblade was an incredibly stressful experience for me because my housemates at the time would be talking or calling out to me through paper-thin walls, so I could never tell if the voices I heard were from the game, my surroundings, or my own personal demons. The ninjas describing the advancements in their visual, audio and gameplay development has me excited to close my curtains, throw on my best headphones and lose myself in another unforgettable journey. I am ashamed to say that despite being a fan of Square Enix, I never played a mana game. The art style is beautiful and Square Enix rarely misses with their music. What got me excited was the focus on aerial combat and magic. It brought fond memories of Kingdom Hearts back to the surface, and I'll be keeping a close eye on this game. ARA History Untold looks great and the developers presented their game well. It was a very nice and wholesome presentation, but it is unlikely I'll give this a try since my backlog of strategy games is jam-packed. That may change, and there is certainly no reason to turn it down, but the line starts back there. Hearing that the creators of Wolfenstein are making an Indiana Jones game both excited and disappointed me. Excited because I knew they were the obvious and best choice to helm the project, and disappointed because it meant no Wolfenstein 3, at least not anytime soon. I was not expecting to see Harrison Ford's likeness, or to learn that the game would officially take place between Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Temple of Doom. I love that the gameplay reflected the barroom style brawling that you would see in older movies. I've come to associate Ford with this. Even the Old Republic's Scoundrel class took some of those same cues. The multi-purpose whip was a highlight for me. Attacking, pulling, distracting. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point it lets us steal enemy weapons or knock them out of their hands. I am an expansion behind on ESO, so I'll probably play both when the Gold Road launches. The new scribing system piqued my interest. One of my favourite features in Oblivion was creating my own spells in the Mages Guild, and the fact that they are giving each weapon skill tree a scribe spell was enough to boost ESO on my list of priorities. They explain that each spell will have a primary, secondary and tertiary slot, each focusing on specific effects. Primary will decide the spell type, for example damage, AoE, single target heal, elemental effects, etc. Secondary will apply unique effects, and tertiary will apply buffs or debuffs as an additional effect. They talked about a lot more, but scribing was enough for me. Plus, since I'm an expansion behind, I muted the video once they started talking about the story, so no breakdown here. This is winding up to be an exciting year on the Xbox side, so now brings the difficult task of waiting patiently for Hellblade to come out on May 21st. This has been Katala, I'll be back between missions, so until then, have a good one.